The Third Punic War. Chapter 1. Renewed hostilities.
Causes and early skirmishes.
The Third Punic War, fought between Rome and Carthage from 149 to 146 BCE, marked the final conflict in the long-standing rivalry between the two powers. The causes of this war can be traced back to the unresolved tensions and hostilities that persisted following the Second Punic War. Despite Carthage's efforts to comply with Roman demands, including paying large indemnities and ceding territories, the Romans remained wary and suspicious of Carthaginian intentions. One of the main catalysts for the Third Punic War was the resurgence of Carthaginian economic and military strength. By the mid-2nd century BCE, Carthage had begun to recover from its previous defeats and was once again becoming a prosperous and influential city-state. This resurgence alarmed Rome, which viewed Carthage's recovery as a potential threat to its dominance in the Mediterranean region. The final straw came when Carthage, provoked by continuous harassment from the neighboring Numidian king Massinissa, decided to defend itself militarily. This act of defiance against Rome's ally gave the Romans the pretext they needed to declare war. Early skirmishes in the Third Punic War were characterized by a series of aggressive Roman maneuvers aimed at weakening Carthage's defenses and morale. The Roman Senate dispatched an army to Africa under the command of consuls Manius Manilius and Lucius Marcius Censorinus. The Carthaginians, though outmatched in terms of military strength, were determined to defend their city. They fortified their walls, gathered supplies, and rallied their citizens to resist the Roman invasion. Initial encounters between the two forces were inconclusive, with the Romans facing strong resistance from the Carthaginian defenders. The Carthaginians employed various defensive tactics, including the use of their formidable navy to disrupt Roman supply lines and launch counterattacks. Despite these efforts, the Romans gradually gained the upper hand, leveraging their superior numbers and strategic advantage. The early stages of the war set the tone for a brutal and protracted conflict. Both sides suffered significant casualties, and the siege of Carthage became increasingly desperate as the Romans tightened their grip. The determination of the Carthaginians to defend their homeland against overwhelming odds remains a testament to their resilience and the high stakes of this historic clash.
Siege of Carthage.
The Siege of Carthage, the centerpiece of the Third Punic War, was a brutal and drawn-out conflict that ultimately led to the complete destruction of the city. The siege began in 149 BCE, when the Roman forces, commanded by consuls Manius Manilius and Lucius Marcius Censorinus, landed in Africa and began their assault. The Carthaginians, aware of the existential threat they faced, fortified their city and prepared for a protracted defense. The initial phase of the siege saw the Romans attempting to breach the formidable walls of Carthage. The Carthaginians, under the leadership of generals such as Hasdrubal, mounted a fierce resistance. They utilized their knowledge of the terrain and their defensive structures to repel Roman attacks. The city's walls, standing over 30 feet high and supported by multiple towers, presented a significant challenge to the besieging forces. In addition to the strong fortifications, the Carthaginians employed a variety of defensive tactics. They launched sorties to disrupt the Roman siege works and used fire ships to attack the Roman fleet blockading the harbor. These efforts, combined with the resilience of the Carthaginian soldiers and citizens, managed to hold off the Romans for an extended period. Despite their tenacity, the Carthaginians were gradually worn down by the relentless Roman assault. The Romans, under the new leadership of Scipio Aemilianus, who took command in 47 BCE, intensified their efforts. Scipio reorganized the Roman forces, improved logistics, and tightened the blockade around Carthage. He also initiated a series of strategic attacks designed to weaken the city's defenses systematically. One of the turning points in the siege was the capture of the Carthaginian outer harbor, known as the Kothon. This victory allowed the Romans to cut off one of the main supply routes into the city, further tightening the noose around Carthage. The Romans then focused on breaching the inner harbor and the city's walls. The final assault on Carthage began in the spring of 146 BCE. After a prolonged bombardment and numerous skirmishes, the Romans managed to breach the city's defenses. What followed was a horrific and bloody battle as the Roman soldiers fought their way through the streets of Carthage. The Carthaginians, though outnumbered and outgunned, continued to resist fiercely, engaging in brutal house-to-house combat. The fall of Carthage was marked by widespread destruction and slaughter. The Romans set fire to the city, and the flames consumed buildings, homes, and public spaces. The devastation was so complete that, according to some historical accounts, the city burned for days. The surviving Carthaginians, numbering in the thousands, were captured and sold into slavery. The once great city of Carthage was reduced to ruins. Its lands were sown with salt to ensure it could never rise again. The siege of Carthage stands as a testament to the lengths to which Rome was willing to go to eliminate its rival. It also highlights the resilience and determination of the Carthaginian people, who fought valiantly despite overwhelming odds. The destruction of Carthage marked the end of the Punic Wars and solidified Rome's dominance over the Western Mediterranean. It also served as a stark reminder of the brutal realities of ancient warfare and the devastating consequences of imperial ambition.
Chapter 2, The Fall of Carthage.
Destruction and annexation.
The destruction of Carthage and its subsequent annexation by Rome was a brutal and definitive end to the Third Punic War. After the Roman forces, led by Scipio Aemilianus, breached Carthage's defenses in 46 BCE, the city was subjected to a systematic and thorough destruction. The Roman soldiers, fueled by years of enmity and orders to leave no stone unturned, razed Carthage to the ground. The devastation was comprehensive. Historical accounts describe Roman soldiers setting fire to buildings, homes, and temples, with flames engulfing the city. The destruction was so extensive that Carthage, once a thriving hub of commerce and culture, was reduced to smoldering ruins. The Romans sought to obliterate any trace of Carthaginian civilization, ensuring that the city could never rise again to challenge Roman power. In addition to the physical destruction, the Romans committed acts of profound cruelty against the surviving Carthaginians. Thousands of men, women, and children were slaughtered during the final assault, and those who survived the initial onslaught were captured and sold into slavery. The systematic extermination and enslavement of the Carthaginian population marked one of the darkest chapters in ancient warfare, showcasing the brutal lengths to which Rome would go to secure its dominance. Following the destruction, the Romans took steps to prevent any possibility of Carthage's resurgence. According to some sources, they even sowed the land with salt to render it infertile, symbolically ensuring that nothing would grow where Carthage once stood. This act, whether literal or metaphorical, emphasized Rome's intention to erase Carthage from the map permanently. The annexation of Carthaginian territory into the Roman Republic followed swiftly. The former Carthaginian lands were reorganized into the Roman province of Africa, with Utica serving as the provincial capital. This new province became an important part of Rome's burgeoning empire, providing valuable agricultural land and serving as a base for further expansion into North Africa. The destruction and annexation of Carthage had far-reaching consequences. It not only marked the end of the Punic Wars, but also solidified Rome's position as the dominant power in the Western Mediterranean. The fall of Carthage removed a significant rival, allowing Rome to focus its military and political efforts on other regions. The brutal methods employed during the siege and subsequent annexation also sent a clear message to other potential adversaries about the might and ruthlessness of Roman power. In the broader context of Roman history, the destruction of Carthage stands as a stark example of the consequences of imperial ambition. It highlights the lengths to which Rome was willing to go to eliminate threats and expand its influence. The events following the fall of Carthage also underscore the transformative impact of conquest on the Roman Republic, as it transitioned from a regional power to an imperial force with vast territories under its control. Despite the complete obliteration of Carthage, its legacy endured in Roman memory. The phrase Carthago delenda est, Carthage must be destroyed, attributed to the Roman senator Cato the Elder, became emblematic of Rome's uncompromising stance toward its enemies. The destruction of Carthage served as both a cautionary tale and a symbol of Roman determination, shaping the course of Roman policy and military strategy for generations to come.
Rome's new order in Africa.
Following the destruction of Carthage, Rome established a new order in Africa that significantly reshaped the region's political and economic landscape. The former Carthaginian territories were reorganized into the Roman province of Africa, a vital addition to the burgeoning Roman Republic. The establishment of this province marked the beginning of a period of Roman consolidation and expansion in North Africa. Utica, a city that had allied with Rome during the Third Punic War, was chosen as the provincial capital. This decision underscored Rome's strategy of rewarding loyalty and leveraging existing political structures to facilitate control. Utica became the administrative and commercial hub of the new province, serving as the center of Roman governance and economic activity in the region. The province of Africa quickly became one of Rome's most valuable assets. Its fertile lands, particularly in the areas surrounding the former Carthaginian heartland, were ideal for agriculture. The Romans exploited this potential by establishing large estates known as latifundia, which were used to produce grain, olives, and other crops for export to Rome and other parts of the empire. The agricultural wealth of Africa contributed significantly to Rome's food supply, helping to sustain the growing population of the capital and other major cities. In addition to agriculture, the new province became an important center for trade. The strategic location of North Africa along the Mediterranean allowed for the easy movement of goods between Europe, the Middle East, and sub-Saharan Africa. Roman merchants and traders flocked to the region, establishing a vibrant market economy that facilitated the exchange of a wide variety of products, including textiles, metals, and luxury items. The Roman authorities also took steps to integrate the local population into the empire. They implemented Roman laws, built infrastructure such as roads and aqueducts, and encouraged the adoption of Roman customs and language. This process of Romanization helped to stabilize the province and foster a sense of loyalty among its inhabitants. Over time, many local elites were granted Roman citizenship, further binding the region to the imperial center. However, the imposition of Roman rule was not without resistance. Some local communities and leaders chafed under Roman domination and the disruption of traditional power structures. Sporadic uprisings and revolts occurred, but these were swiftly and brutally suppressed by Roman military forces. The might of the Roman legions ensured that any dissent was quickly quashed, reinforcing the stability and security of the province. The creation of the province of Africa also had broader implications for the Roman Republic. It demonstrated Rome's capacity to manage and integrate new territories into its administrative framework, a skill that would be crucial as the empire continued to expand. The wealth and resources derived from Africa helped to fuel Rome's imperial ambitions, providing the economic foundation for further conquests and the maintenance of Rome's existing territories. In summary, Rome's new order in Africa marked a significant transformation of the region. The establishment of the province of Africa facilitated economic growth, cultural integration, and political stability. It also underscored Rome's ability to adapt and thrive as an imperial power, setting the stage for centuries of Roman dominance in the Mediterranean world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great content like this. Hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever we upload new videos so you never miss out. We appreciate your support and look forward to bringing you more exciting videos.
The voices in this recording were created with the assistance of OpenAI.